All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about something really simple, but also kind of powerful. It's this classroom experiment that's, well, a little bit awkward, and it reveals so much about us without anyone saying a single word. So really think about this for a second. What actually happens? In a world that is just go, 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 full of noise and directions, what can you possibly learn from the total absence of it? Well, we're about to find out. Okay, so just imagine this, right? You're sitting there, first day class, expecting the usual, the syllabus, the introductions. But the teacher comes in, stands at the front of the room, and just says nothing. The seconds start to feel like minutes. What's going through your head right now? How are you feeling? So this is a real thing. It's an activity called the sound of silence. And the idea is just so simple. Students are just asked to sit quietly. No phones, no talking, for about 5 to 10 minutes. But as you're going to see, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Not at all. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. What happens in that room when everyone's expectations are just thrown out the window? Sociologists who've run this have seen a pretty fascinating and predictable set of reactions. This is almost always the first domino to fall: confusion. The pattern of how class works is broken, so your first thought is, something's wrong. Is this a mistake? Did the teacher forget what they were doing? And right after that confusion, you get this wave of anxiety, right? I mean, we are so used to being told what to do. Here's the task, here's the goal. Take that away, and this weird, unsettling feeling starts to creep in for a lot of people. And wow, this one really hits on the social side of things. It's weird, right? Being quiet in a group can feel way more intense than actually talking. It feels like you're breaking this invisible rule that says you have to fill the empty space. And then, of course, you get boredom. And this one is so telling, isn't it? It just peels back the curtain on how much we lean on, well, on anything else, really. A phone, a conversation, anything to keep us from just being alone with our own thoughts. And you can literally see all these internal feelings bubble up to the surface. People start fidgeting, shifting in their seats. They will look anywhere but at another person. The ceiling, the wall, their shoes. There's always one person who tries to be the hero and break the tension with a little joke. Or you'll see others so desperate for something to do that they'll just start working on some random paper that's on their desk. They're all just ways to cope. Okay, so we've got all this awkwardness, all this confusion. But you gotta know, the point isn't just to make a room full of people squirm for 10 minutes. Nope, there's a much deeper lesson going on here. So here's the big turn. What if all that discomfort was the whole point? What if the real lesson wasn't about surviving the silence, but about observing what happens inside of it? And this is the big reveal. This is the magic of it. By just trying to figure out what the heck is going on, by looking at their friends, feeling the vibe in the room, trying to read the situation, the students are already acting like sociologists. They are analyzing a social scene in real time. The lesson had already begun. And when you put it side by side with a normal class, the difference is just night and day, right? In a regular class, the teacher talks, you listen. It's a one-way street. But here, everything's flipped. The teacher watches, and the students are the lesson. It completely shatters the routine. It doesn't reward you for just sitting there quietly. It rewards you for being curious. This little experiment, it's more than just a cool classroom trick. It's actually a pretty sharp critique of how we've all been taught to learn for most of our lives. I mean, think about your own experience. For years and years, the model's been the same. You sit down, you stay quiet, and you absorb information from the expert at the front of the room. We've been trained to be passive buckets waiting to be filled up with knowledge. It's almost like that old Nirvana lyric, here we are now, entertain us. That's the vibe. A lot of the time, students just expect the teacher to do all the work, to make it interesting to perform. The pressure for engagement is all on one person. So the whole point of the silence is to break that system. It refuses to entertain you. It forces you, the student, to shift from being a passive listener to an active observer. It's not about following rules. It's about asking, wait, what's actually happening here? So what's the big takeaway here? I mean, after all that awkward silence, what are you supposed to walk away with? How does this change anything? It really boils down to this new way of looking at things. It's a whole new mindset. First, you just observe what's around you. Second, you question your own assumptions. like the assumption that a teacher is supposed to talk. And third, you think about why people, including yourself, are acting the way they are. And that's really the heart of it all. It's about taking back control of your own learning. It's a powerful reminder that education isn't something that happens to you, it's something you do. It puts you back in the driver's seat. And just so you know, this brilliant activity comes from a resource for educators called Sociology by Design, which is all about creating these kinds of cool, hands-on learning moments. And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on. This isn't just about the classroom. Think about all the other places with these invisible rules, like an elevator or the line at the grocery store. What would you notice about people, about yourself, if you just stopped for a minute, stay quiet, and really, truly observed? What secrets are hiding in plain sight all around us?